What if everything you believe about magic and spirituality is wrong? For centuries, humanity has sought answers beyond the veil of the visible world. Hidden among the dusty pages of forbidden texts, there exists a book that has sparked both reverence and fear. A manuscript so powerful that it was banned in many regions, whispered about in secret circles, and studied by those who dared to explore the unknown. Its name, Shams al-Maarif, the Book of the Son of Knowledge. But is it truly a guide to enlightenment, or a doorway to something far more dangerous? 800 years ago, a mystic named Ahmad al-Buni compiled ancient wisdom into a single work that claimed to unlock the hidden structure of reality itself. Not through spells or illusions, but through the very fabric of existence, numbers, letters, and cosmic energies that influence every aspect of our lives. What if I told you that the knowledge within these pages aligns with discoveries modern physics is only beginning to understand? That the universe may not just be observed, but actively shaped by you. The light of knowledge dissolves the shadows of the unknown. These words, spoken by al-Buni himself, are more than just poetry. They hint at something far greater, a path to unlocking human potential beyond what we've been taught to believe. So, here's the question. How many answers about your life are hidden in dimensions you have yet to explore? To understand the secrets of Shams al-Maarif, we must first explore the mind behind it. Ahmad al-Buni was not just a scholar. He was a visionary, born in the 12th century in what is now Algeria. He lived in an era when mysticism and science were deeply intertwined. While Europe was still emerging from the shadows of the Dark Ages, the Islamic world was experiencing a golden age of knowledge, where mathematics, astronomy, and metaphysics flourished side by side. But al-Buni's work was different. He wasn't merely a historian of ideas, he was an explorer of reality itself. He studied in the intellectual circles of Cairo, Tunis, and Baghdad, places where the greatest minds of the time gathered. Yet, his most profound discoveries did not come from traditional studies. They came from ancient, hidden sources, from texts that were never meant for the uninitiated. One of these was a mysterious library in the Maghreb, said to contain scrolls older than recorded history. It was here that al-Buni encountered knowledge that would shape his life's work, a system where numbers, letters, and sacred geometry were not just symbols, but forces that shaped reality itself. But why was this knowledge feared? Because Shams al-Maarif did not just describe spiritual devotion. It described spiritual mechanics. It detailed how reality itself could be influenced through intention, vibration, and alignment with cosmic forces. Imagine walking through the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, where scholars debated the movements of the stars and the hidden forces of the mind. It was here that al-Buni found like-minded thinkers, astronomers who mapped the heavens, alchemists who transformed matter, and mathematicians who saw numbers as the code of the universe. He studied alongside them, but his focus was different. He was searching for something deeper, the blueprint of existence itself. And then, he made a discovery that changed everything. His book speaks of 14 dimensions of existence, 7 higher realms of illumination, and 7 lower realms of limitation. At first, this might seem like mere mystical speculation. But now, consider this. Modern string theory suggests that the universe consists of multiple dimensions, far beyond the 3 we perceive. Was al-Buni centuries ahead of his time? He believed that the key to navigating these dimensions lay within language itself. That the Arabic letters were not just sounds, but vibrations that aligned with cosmic frequencies. Each letter, each word, carried an energetic signature, influencing not only the mind, but the very fabric of reality. This wasn't just philosophy, it was a practice. The right combination of letters, uttered with pure intention, could open doors to higher states of consciousness, unlocking abilities that today we might associate with intuition, healing, or even extrasensory perception. And perhaps this is why Shams al-Maarif was seen as dangerous. It wasn't feared because it spoke of magic. It was feared because it hinted at a system of power, one that bypassed religious institutions and political control. It suggested that a person, with the right knowledge, could become a conduit for divine forces without the need for intermediaries. This is why the book was banned, hidden, and whispered about in secret circles. Not because it was superstition, but because it contained something more profound, a way to interact with reality on a level most people never even consider. And now, we must ask ourselves, if this knowledge has been hidden for centuries, what else has been kept from us? What if the universe was written in a language, a code hidden in plain sight? Throughout history, different traditions have spoken of a primordial language, a form of communication that doesn't just describe reality but shapes it. The ancient Hebrews believed in the mystical power of their letters. The Hindus spoke of Sanskrit as the language of the gods, and in the Islamic world, a deep and hidden knowledge emerged, al-Huruf, the science of letters. Al-Buni was one of its greatest masters. He believed that the Arabic alphabet was not just a system of writing, but a vibrational structure, an energetic key to understanding and influencing the universe. Let's break this down. Each letter, according to al-Buni, carries a unique frequency, much like a musical note. And just as a symphony can stir emotions or even heal, these letters, when combined in the right way, could align human consciousness with cosmic forces. Think about it. Science today acknowledges that everything is vibration. Quantum physics tells us that at the smallest level, particles are not fixed objects but waves of probability, shaped by frequency and observation. Now, imagine if the right sequence of sounds, the right words, could tune reality itself, just like a musician tuning an instrument. This is what al-Buni claimed to have uncovered. One of the most powerful examples of this idea is the word Bismillah, a phrase meaning, "in the name of God," used for centuries by Sufi mystics. But al-Buni saw more than just a prayer. He saw a precise arrangement of letters and sounds, designed to harmonize the soul with divine energy. And modern research suggests he might have been right. A 2019 study from the University of Istanbul explored the impact of sacred recitations on the human nervous system. The results? Participants who repeated certain Arabic phrases, not just as words, but with deep intention, showed measurable changes in brainwave activity, shifting into states associated with deep meditation, clarity, and heightened intuition. But let's go deeper. Al-Buni taught that the first letter of the Arabic alphabet, Alif, was the key to unlocking hidden potential. Why? Because unlike other letters, Alif is silent. It represents the breath, the unseen force behind all things. He believed that meditating on Alif, visualizing it, breathing with it, could awaken a person's connection to higher dimensions of consciousness. Let's try something together. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine a glowing pillar of light in front of you, shaped like the letter Alif. Tall, straight, infinite. This is not just a letter. It is a bridge between the seen and the unseen, a channel of divine energy. Feel it. In ancient times, practices like this were guarded secrets, passed only to those deemed worthy. But today, we are rediscovering what al-Buni and other mystics knew all along. Words are more than speech. They are forces. They create, they shape, they transform. And now we must ask, if a single letter holds this much power, what happens when we learn the full language of the universe? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the world you see, the space you move through, and even the time you perceive, is only a fraction of reality. What if you've been living in a two-dimensional shadow of a much greater cosmic architecture? According to Shams al-Maarif, existence is not bound by what our senses perceive. Ahmad al-Buni wrote about 14 dimensions, 7 higher realms and 7 lower planes. each representing different states of consciousness and spiritual evolution. He wasn't just describing mystical philosophy, he was mapping out a roadway through the unseen. Centuries later, physicists began to propose something eerily similar. String theory, a modern scientific model, suggests that reality might consist of 11 or more dimensions beyond what we can perceive. Could it be that al-Buni had already intuited these layers of existence through his deep exploration of esoteric wisdom? But to understand these realms, we must first recognize a fundamental truth: we are not static beings. Every moment of awareness, every thought, every dream is a movement across dimensions. There's an ancient legend among the Tuareg nomads of the Sahara, a people who have guarded hidden knowledge for centuries. They tell the story of a traveler who, after wandering for days under the scorching sun, collapsed from exhaustion. In a vision, he found himself standing before a towering gate made of pure light. On the other side, he saw colors and landscapes beyond earthly comprehension. When he awoke, he claimed to have accessed a higher dimension, one where past, present, and future existed simultaneously. This mirrors something that appears across mystical traditions. In Sufi Islam, seekers meditate to reach states of fan, the dissolution of the ego, where they glimpse higher planes. In Tibetan Buddhism, advanced monks describe similar transcendental experiences. Even modern lucid dreaming research shows that the mind can sometimes escape the constraints of time and space, accessing realities far beyond our waking world. But why does this matter? Because your consciousness is the key to moving between dimensions. The science of consciousness expansion. If this sounds like pure mysticism, consider this. A growing number of neuroscientists believe that consciousness isn't just produced by the brain. It's something that extends beyond it. The philosopher Andy Clark, in his extended mind theory, proposes that thoughts don't just happen inside our heads. They interact with the world, shaping and being shaped by external forces. In other words, the mind isn't confined to the body. It can reach beyond itself, a concept that aligns eerily well what al-Buni described about the soul's ability to traverse dimensions. Think about it. Have you ever had a dream that felt more real than reality itself? Have you ever sensed a presence in a room, even when no one was there? Have you ever experienced déjà vu so strongly that it felt like you had momentarily stepped outside of time? These are not just coincidences. They are hints, clues that there is something beyond the physical world, something we are only beginning to understand. And if al-Buni was right, these dimensions are not just places out there in the cosmos, they are layers within us. So the real question is, how do we access them? Now, before we reveal the techniques al-Buni left behind to navigate these dimensions, let's address something crucial. Because with great knowledge comes great responsibility. If the universe is a vast ocean of energy, then intention is the wind that guides the sails of our reality. But here's the question that few dare to ask. Can this force be misused? Can the same knowledge that unlocks higher dimensions also be turned into a tool for manipulation? Ahmad al-Buni's Shams al-Maarif doesn't just explore the secrets of spiritual ascension. It also warns of the delicate balance between creation and destruction, between light and shadow. It is here that we encounter one of the most controversial aspects of the book: the distinction between what many call white magic and black magic. But what if this division is not as simple as good versus evil? What if the true difference lies in something far more subtle? There is an ancient ritual known as baratain, a mystical practice used by a 14th century sheikh in Yemen to settle conflicts between rival tribes. Instead of war, he used sacred inscriptions derived from the science of letters to shift the energy of entire communities. Witnesses claimed that his words carried a power that could dissolve hatred itself. This is the essence of aligned intention, using knowledge as a force of harmony rather than control. But history also provides darker examples. In the 19th century, secretive cults in North Africa misused similar techniques, twisting sacred formulas to gain influence over others. They promised wealth and power, but left behind only fear and suffering. The difference was never in the knowledge itself, but in the heart that wielded it. Modern science is beginning to validate what ancient mystics already knew. Studies from the Institute of HeartMath show that human intention influences not just the mind, but the electromagnetic field around us. The heart generates a field that extends several feet beyond the body, subtly interacting with others. This means that our thoughts and emotions are not isolated. They ripple outward, shaping the world in ways we barely understand. So, the question is, how are you using your energy? Are you moving in harmony with the currents of the universe, or are you unknowingly resisting them? Every thought, every emotion, every intention is a force in motion. And as Shams al-Maarif suggests, the real danger is not in magic itself, but in the hands that seek to control it. But what if control was never the point? What if the greatest secret of all is not about bending reality to our will, but realizing that we are already woven into its design? There's a secret within Shams al-Maarif that transcends the mysteries of magic, dimensions, and even the very essence of the universe. It's a secret that has been hidden in plain sight, passed down through generations of mystics and spiritual seekers. This is not a secret about controlling the universe, but about realizing something far more profound. You are the universe. Imagine, for a moment, that you are not just a small speck of dust in a vast cosmos, but the cosmos itself, reflected within you. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your very being resonate with the energies that shape the stars. This is the true teaching of Shams al-Maarif, not manipulation of unseen forces, but alignment with the greater harmony of existence. Now you might be wondering, how do you tap into this cosmic understanding? The answer lies within the simplest and yet most powerful of practices: intention. The book teaches that when we set our intentions with clarity and purity, we become aligned with the universal flow of energy. This isn't magic in the traditional sense. It's a shift in consciousness, a realignment of your inner world to the vast unspoken truths of the universe. But before we go deeper, let's take a moment for practice. This is where we truly connect with the energies that al-Buni spoke of. I invite you to engage in a simple yet profound exercise, one that will align your spirit with the cosmic light. First, find a quiet space where you can be alone with your thoughts. Take a deep breath, inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8. Feel the tension in your body begin to melt away with each breath. As you center yourself, visualize the Arabic letter Alif, the first letter of the alphabet, as a glowing pillar of light. Imagine this light filling your entire being, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Allow the light to expand outward, connecting you with the greater universe. Now, repeat this affirmation silently or aloud. And my intention is pure. My connection is infinite. Feel the truth of those words settle within you. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are its heartbeat. In this space of alignment, we return to the question: what if everything you ever needed to understand the universe was already within you, waiting to be unlocked? As you sit with that question, allow yourself to explore the dimensions of your being. The answers are all there, within the depths of your soul, waiting to reveal themselves. Now, with this new perspective, we ask, which dimension will you choose to explore next? Now, it's important to take a step back and reflect on the deeper truth that Shams al-Maarif offers. True wisdom does not come from external sources alone. It arises from within, from the very fabric of your soul. In the ancient words of a Sufi proverb, the greatest treasure is not in the stars, but in the soul that contemplates them. Think for a moment. How often do we search outwardly for answers, for signs, for guidance? Yet, the greatest truth lies within you, waiting to be uncovered. Just like the stars above, the knowledge we seek is not out of reach. It's a part of us, woven into the very essence of who we are. Every thought, every feeling, and every word you speak carries the potential to shape your reality. And perhaps, the most profound question of all, what if each word you utter, each intention you set, is a seed that creates new worlds? The idea that language is a bridge to the divine is not new. Ancient cultures across the globe, from the Sufis to the Kabbalists, understood the power of the word to shape reality. When you speak with pure intention, you are invoking the energy of creation itself. So, as you continue to explore the teachings of Shams al-Maarif, ask yourself, how can you use this knowledge to live more fully in harmony with the universe? How can you embody the wisdom of the ancients in your own life today? Remember, the book is not a guide to gaining power over others, but to unlocking the power within yourself. The magic isn't in the words or the symbols. It's in you. It's in the way you choose to align your intentions with the forces of nature, to live in a state of conscious awareness, and to recognize the sacredness of every moment. As you move forward, I invite you to share this journey with someone you feel could benefit from it. Together, we can awaken to the deeper mysteries that connect us all. Share this video, spark a conversation, and remember, every step you take on this path is a step toward rediscovering the truth that lies within. And before we part ways, make sure to hit that notification bell so you won't miss the next exploration of the mysteries of the soul. There are still many secrets waiting to be revealed, and I can't wait to share them with you.